welcome everyone to the Glock podcast today. And I have a guest. Annie is my guest. Nice to have you on the show today, Annie. How are you doing?
Hi Wilson, very well, thank you. And thank you for inviting me. I'm looking forward for our conversation.
Same here. Looking forward to it. And first question, how does it feel to be the guest today?
Well, feels great. I like talking to people in podcasts or meetings or conferences. So yes, I love it.
Lovely, lovely. Okay, so Annie, let's introduce you.
Mhm.
You've had a wonderful career through the banking sector, and now you're doing a wonderful thing for yourself. How would you describe yourself, and how has your journey been up to this point?
Okay. How would I describe myself? Oh, well,
Yeah.
I will start with that my name is Ani Filipova and I'm Bulgarian. I was born behind the Iron Curtain in Bulgaria many years ago. I'm not going to say how many, but there were many. So, being born behind, Iron Curtain is when Bulgaria and the Eastern Bloc were part of the under influence of Russia. So we had a demarcation line,
Okay.
and the West was bad and the East was great. So I never believed that narrative, and I always wanted to travel. That was my passion, and I was always, I always liked to read a lot about, the books that I remember very clearly was Pippi Longstockings, and she talks about Asia and Singapore and Kolkata and stuff like this. And these names were so interesting to me. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, this is such an interesting life. And there's so many places outside of Bulgaria that I will never ever see because I never thought I will ever travel. And that's how I was. I was very curious about life outside of my country, and the when I started my career, I first after I finished university, I decided, okay, if I want to travel and I want to live outside of Bulgaria, I have to find a job in an international company. And I graduated at the year when Bulgaria abolished the communism and we became a free country. So there were many companies like McDonald's, Nestle, Shell, and many others coming and opening their offices in Bulgaria. So I said, there you are. I'm going to apply to all of them because I want to work in an international company. I'll be traveling. And I was absolutely crushed when all they all said no. We can't hire you. We're looking for people with experience. and and then I had to find a job, and I don't come from a family with money at all. It's just working class family. I had to start a job, and at that time, you find job in the newspaper. So I was reading newspaper, and I was reading a Bulgarian bank is looking for people. So I said, okay, Bulgarian, a bank. Okay, I studied finance, and my specialty is finance and banking. I never thought that I'm going to be in banking, but I said, okay, I'm just going to try. So I went, they took me, and that was it. This was the start of my career in banking. And when once I got into banking, I said, well, I'm here, I better learn. So that's how it happened. And the first international bank came to Bulgaria. I said, okay, I'm there because I want to travel. And it was a Greek bank, then it was an Austrian bank, that was Citibank. And with Citibank, I had an amazing career for 21 years. And I've been across the world. I lived in London, Singapore, Hong Kong, before that in Bucharest. And I traveled to more than 80 countries in the world.
Wow.
So in 2021, I decided to leave my corporate life, my corporate career, and start a completely different life with a portfolio career, which is you don't have one business or one job, you have a collation of interest, projects, and clients, which actually add diversity to your life, but also choice to decide who you work with and who and when. So now my life rotates around that.
Interesting. I was almost going to ask you how many countries have you visited, but I heard you say over 80. That is a lot. And I guess that has fulfilled that curiosity of wanting to travel the world. Or are there places you've not yet
Exactly.
traveled to that you would want to travel to? Is there any place you haven't been to yet that you would like to go to?
No, no, I've visited all the countries, all the places I want to go. The only one probably is the South Pole. I want to see the South Pole
Mm.
before I mean before it melts. So
Hopefully it
so I have
doesn't.
to do that. Maybe I'll do that with my kids. I have two kids. They're twins, a boy and a girl. They're 15.
Wow, nice, nice, and thank you for walking us through that career. Now you mentioned you're in the portfolio career path, and after spending so many years in banking, having a successful career, what triggered that move? At what point did you realize? I know you said 2021, but what was the main trigger for that, if that's something you want to share? And how long did it take to make that decision? Because I guess people also get to that point in life, but
Yeah,
some people just never flip to the other side.
yeah.
So at what point did you gain the conviction to say, okay, I have a successful career, I'm growing up the ladder, but I really want to do something else? And how was that process like for you?
Okay. So it was evolution, I should say. When So I spent with in Asia 11 years, 5 years in Singapore and 6 years in Hong Kong. So we moved from Singapore to Hong Kong because I took the job of Chief Operating Officer of Treasury and Trade Solution of Citibank Asia, which is two now probably 3 billion business, even more, covering
That's
16
huge.
countries. Yeah, 16 countries, two of them in India and China. So it's a big, huge business. And I was there during that very interesting but very busy and difficult in the same time period of time when banking was moving from analog to digital, and we were implementing all the new type of payments, the new ways of people, clients accessing their data, and it was the future, and that was the first thing I actually liked that digital future. I liked where it's going and how it is organizing the way the way we work and the way we do banking. So I there was this idea that probably I can potentially, succeed in this new world. I like it. I'm not an analog person. I like the new things. And as I moved from Singapore to Hong Kong, there were other realization. It was that every time I move, and generally my circle of friends, acquaintances, and people I work and live around are all from banking. They're all, even, okay, it's not only banking, but finance services and maybe legal. So I realized I see the world from only one angle of banking and finance. And not only that, I spent 21 years in Citibank, and it's an amazing place to work. Amazing, and with amazing people, very smart people, and who want to do well. So, but this at that time were around 300,000 people in the world, and the world consists of more than 8 billion, right? So you're just in this tiny little bubble that lives in a different kind of world. And when I went to Hong Kong, I said to myself, okay, I'm just going to now explore and find out what is this world outside of banking, of my immediate circle. What are other people doing? And I was fortunate to meet the co-founders of a women's network, but women entrepreneurs network in Asia.
Okay.
And it was a huge network with, I think, around 15,000 women entrepreneurs across Asia. And I became their ambassador. I was helping them with whatever I can for any of the women who start business or have issues with HR operation, planning, strategy, whatnot. And I was just helping whenever I could to transfer some knowledge from what I know in a big institution so they can learn in their companies. And I went to this event where there were women entrepreneurs who had to pitch their business in front of editors of big magazines like Vogue and other big magazines. And if you win, the magazine is going to publish information about you and your product free of charge, which is a great thing because these magazines are very, very popular in Asia. And that was an event which was around 2 hours, and every owner or co-founder would come on the stage and they would pitch their business in a matter of, I think it was 2 to 3 minutes, and I was absolutely stunned. I was absolutely speechless because there's so many businesses and so many things people were doing, things that I never knew exist, or I never knew that there is a need out there for such a business to exist. And that was something that, switched something in me and said, oh my goodness, this is huge. And from there on, I was thinking, all right, I have to do something about it. And you know how when you start thinking about this, you start thinking, I want to do something, but it's just a thought or something. What is this something? You have to decide. Well, what do you want to leave your corporate job? What do you want? Do you want to stay? So I started exploring because I have to find out what actually do I want to do, right? Because sometimes you're just so tired and there's so many new things are going on, and people have difficulties adjusting, and you're tired, and after a very long day you say, oh God, I can't do this anymore. But the thing is, you can't do this anymore, but what do you want to do? And you have to find out what. And the way I find out what is, I said to myself, okay, what do I want? I mean, I don't want this, but what? So do I want to have more money? Okay, is it that I need a job with more money? So I started going to interviews, and then at the offer stage, I would realize, no, I'm just not interested because, yeah, it's a little bit more money, but then what? I'm just going to go somewhere else. I'll again have no time. I will have to work even much more than what I do now just to prove myself. So I said, oh, so it's not money and it's not a different job. So I said, okay, so maybe then I want to be more time with my kids. But is it? So I said, okay, if I work 4 days a week, is that going to cut it? So I'll have 3 days with free. But then I started realizing, yeah, you have the 4-day working week, but you're going to work on the 5th, right? It is what's happening. So is this what I want? And no, I said, no, I don't want that, because I want to be able to go for 3 months with my kids on vacation. That's it. And they go out from school. I want to just go with them and we travel and go wherever we want. So would the 4 days week help me? No. Then I said, okay, so maybe I will take a sabbatical. And then I said, okay, I'll take a sabbatical. And then what? In 6 months, I come back. What's the difference? Nothing. I've probably rested, but so what? After that, my kids continue to grow and I continue not to have time. So that narrowed it down to the thing that I just want to have more time for myself, more time for the family, but I also wanted to work something, right? So another reason was, obviously, with all the work, with all the stress, you start having shoulder pain, neck pain, knee pains, hip pains. Oh, so something or another was always coming. And when you are in your 20s, 30s, everything is like, yay, go, let's go, etc. When you're in your 40s, mid 40s, the body started reminding yourself, look, you're getting older. You might not look it out on the outside, but on the inside, it is happening. And then you start thinking, okay, if I go with that speed, by 60, I'll have so many pains and my old ears will not be nice, right? So I said, no, I have to do something. So these are all the kind of reasons for which I decided I have to make a switch. And the one that was the crucial was deciding when I'm emotionally ready, not to be the COO big title person, and be myself, Ani Filipova. And in the beginning, you think the moment you leave and you're nobody because you don't have the big Citibank logo behind you. You don't have the status and the power and everything. So who are you? You're nobody. And that took me some time to actually realize, no, I'm not nobody. I mean, all this 25 years working experience is not going to disappear. I'm just going to be in a different environment. So that slowly, one by one, making a plan where are we going to live, where the kids going to study, how we're going to do it. And once we had the plan and I was emotionally ready, I just moved.
It's quite interesting, and you've dropped quite a number of things that first because of the kids, which I think it's fantastic. You wanted time for yourself, you wanted time for family. Considering okay, you're not in your 20s. What does that mean for you? Even going for a bigger job, you need to prove yourself. But the last one you just mentioned now, which is about mentally and emotionally being ready to drop the big title. It's not easy, right? The thing is, a lot of people are in your shoes or are in the shoes you wear a couple of years back. Um, and they still don't make that decision. They're stuck there. They are not certain what to do. They know they don't have more time or don't have enough time and they want that time. They know they are probably not even excited again. I guess at certain levels, some people, they've done the push in their younger years. That excitement that was there to just keep going is no longer there, but they just can't let go. So what would you say to them to help them through that period? You meant having a plan, right? And I think that is good, but what battles do they need to overcome for them to go there? Because they know they are suffering the same thing you've mentioned, but they feel like they have no other option. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So the question is, do they have an option? And how do they maximize the option?
Yeah. Well, absolutely. You always have another option. You always have. We always say, oh, I don't have options. And it's because you have options, but you don't like any of these options so much that you choose them, right?
That's a good one.
There's so many options, but it's none of them is like hitting the 90% or 100%. So that's why you're saying I don't have options. No, you have. So you have to start from somewhere, right? You have to start from somewhere. And I've coached a lot of people, and the first thing is just the way I did it. And you have to find out what actually you want to achieve, or what do you want your life to be? And I know it sounds a little bit fluffy like this, but it's not, because you want to change. So you have to know what is this change. If you don't know, you're just going to meander and you will never find the time and you will never find what it is and you will just continue to get stuck. So you have to say, I want to achieve 1, 2, 3, or even it's only one. Okay. So I want to achieve, and I have more time. Okay. More time with my kids, or I want to have a better financial security. If my job goes, what am I going to do, right? So one of these, it has to be a plan. You have to sit down, think for yourself, and it takes time. It takes time. Once you have an idea of what you want to do, discuss it with your spouse, see what they're thinking, ask other people around you to see what they think about it, how they feel, but just get the opinions. Don't make them your decisions. Just listen to them. So once you do that, and if you say, for instance, you want to leave your job because you had enough and you want more freedom, for instance, you don't just drop and just leave and that's it and live on savings. No, you just start one by one, working on several foundational things. And these are the basically the portfolio career that I has 5 principles that I normally advise people to do. And the first very important principle, no matter what you want to do, is to build an audience. Because once you have an audience, you can then, monetize your skills, start a side business, or start speaking, or start advising. And all these other things you might do in the future will be that much more easier with an audience. So what does it mean building an audience? It means have a LinkedIn profile. So if you're a professional, I think building an audience on LinkedIn is the best one because it's a professional network. It's really great. People come there to learn something, to find like-minded people, etc. So start sharing what you know, your knowledge. Okay, so start thinking, I mean, what am I expert on, and what can I talk about if they wake me up during the night and I can talk for hours about this thing. Okay, choose one or two or three things like this and start creating content, interesting content with stories, with sharing how you overcome problems, with sharing approaches to do something, like how to get a promotion, how to negotiate a salary, how to do your performance review, how to make great goals so you achieve, how do you move, is it better to have a financial career or legal career? I mean, stuff that are, you are an expert on. And this way you create an audience. So if you have decided that you want to at one point leave your corporate life, what you have to do is start trying things that you might want to do in the future. So what I mean with trying things. So for instance, you can start coaching. You can coach people for career growth, or how to become a VP, or how to become a director, because you've been through it, right? So you know it. You know the small things that make really the big important decision. So you start coaching people and see whether you like it. Okay, you start coaching. Do people come to you? Do you find it interesting? Do they find it helpful? Do people basically, after your coaching, do they progress? Can you get testimonials? And this is how it starts. And you can potentially, from the people you coached, you can then start. I mean, all the people ask literally 5 or 6 questions which are the same. Everybody has the same pain and the same kind of things they want to solve. And then you can create a digital training on these 5 topics. And there you are, you created 2 income streams. Okay. So you can decide, okay, how do I feel with that? How do I feel about creating content? Do I like it? Don't I like it? How do I feel with coaching? How do I feel with creating digital? You can go start teaching in a university and get a adjunct professor role, for instance. That's another way out. You can start investing and create a passive income. So there's so many ways to to create to create room for you to have choices that you like. And if you sit down and you know, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, you have to start it from somewhere. Just pick one thing.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be the one thing you always do from now to forever. You're just testing, and keep your job. Yeah, sometimes it will be might be a bit difficult, right? But it's an investment because you want to get better. You want to get freedom. You want to be able to use your time mostly by the way you want to use your time, not by whoever wants to, I mean, whoever your boss is and whatever your company says, etc. So that's it. First, make your goals very clear. What is that you want to choose? And then simply make a plan, start testing it while you keep working, and then decide whether you like it or not. So I've coached many people. Some, when they start actually crystallizing what is that they want, they say, oh no, you know what, I'm okay here. I will just have this activity on the outside, and that will make me happy, right? I'll coach just for this pro bono, or I'll teach in a university, and that will give me that sense of
Yeah.
the fulfillment. And then I'll
Yes.
stay. Others will just discover they're born entrepreneurs, and then they just go and then leave the corporate life and forget they were there ever before. So that's what I would say to them. Take action. Take action.
Yes, take action. I like what you said, build an audience, and we'll be surprised how much things can grow from there. And I think there's also a room to test, like you mentioned. What start with be what you end with, you probably pivot, but it's just being brave enough to take action and then keep going. For someone like you, like within the space of how many years, like you've really at least become quite popular on LinkedIn and grown. And I'm sure when people come to your profile, they will forget that at one point it wasn't that way,
Yeah,
right? You know, people tend to see things from what it is now, but they didn't see the early days, the early
yeah,
beginning, and how
totally.
to grow that. So,
Totally.
what was that process for you? Because people struggle with that as well. It's I know I want to say something, but I'm not an expert. And I think this was asked during your master class earlier today. The question is, how do they overcome that imposter syndrome? Because that is what it is, right? If some very experienced people, they've led organizations, but if you ask them, hey, come online and say something, for them is what do I say? It's not a boardroom meeting, it's a team meeting. This is me putting myself out there. So how do they get started? And what should their mindset be towards this journey
Yeah.
from your experience?
Well, the thing is that if you would not know whether you like something or whether you're good at something if you don't try it. There is no way, right? I mean, sitting here and thinking, "Oh, am I good? Or can I grow on LinkedIn? And would people like what I'm going to say?" The only way to find out is to test. So the best way to kill procrastination is action, even a small action. So if you are thinking to build an audience and you're afraid and you think, oh my goodness, what am I going to talk about? And I've been in that shoes, right? I mean, in the beginning, when I had like 3,000 followers, I was thinking, oh, what am I going to speak about? And it was pain because I didn't have everything kind of again a goal and what exactly I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
And you have to start thinking, what is my expertise, right? What is the best thing that I can talk about that everybody praises me, right? What is your boss saying you're good at? Okay, so connecting with people or being I speak well or whatever it is, and you just start writing about that. Start writing about that and see how it is going to be perceived. When I started, I wrote, so one of my most very successful posts was in the beginning, right? I just wrote a very short version of what I told you about myself, that I like travel and that my banking career was. That actually got like 500,000 views, and I had like 1,000 likes, and a lot of people really enjoyed it. Another post, I was talking about somebody in. I used to work in Hong Kong. In the tower I used to work, there was this guy who was at the entrance, and every morning he was there, and every morning he would smile and say, "Good morning, how are you?" And he's an amazing guy. So sometimes I go to work and I'm just in my problems and I just really don't want to go there. And I see him and he just comes and say, "Good morning," as if I'm the person he likes the most in the whole world. And I wrote about this guy, and then that got like hundreds of thousands of views.
Wow.
And his employer actually sent a message and thanked me, and publicly praised him. I hope they increase his salary also. But
I
these are
hope
the
they did.
things, you know. And then I started talking about leadership. I started talking about career and different angles. And now we have so much like prompts, okay? Before, I didn't have ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity. You can actually go and ChatGPT and say, oh, so my expertise is leadership, okay? What are the 10 underrated topics that nobody speaks about on leadership, and it will give you 10 ideas, and then from there it can develop 100 ideas that you can say something about these 100 ideas. So yeah, it is the first step, sitting on there is no magic wand and there is no magic formula to start doing something. It's you just have to work it out yourself. But sitting, doing nothing, only create anxiety and stress. So every time I had a stress and anxiety and I'm just worried about this, about that, the cure for that is taking action. Because no matter what the stress, no matter what the situation, there is one thing you can do in every situation. And if you can do this one thing, suddenly you feel better. Suddenly you feel better. At least this is how it is with me. I'll just wake up and I'll think, oh my goodness. So for instance, the webinar. So I didn't have time to advertise very well. I just post one post, or it was the time was very short, and I was thinking, what am I going to do? I said, okay, I have 10 days to go. What can I do? I can post a post on Sunday and say, come to my webinar. And I said, that's it. I've done my best. I mean, that's what I can do. I
Yeah.
put it on my on a post. On every post, I said, come to my webinar. I sent to my newsletter audience, come to my webinar. And people came. So it was a great webinar. There were people joining, asking questions, sharing knowledge, etc. New relationships, you build authority, you build relationship with the people. So that's how it happens. No magic wand.
They did no magic wand and being consistent, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
right you start, you won't get all the big results, but just consistently showing up, it gets better, it becomes clearer. In fact, personally for me, it was once I started taking action, things became clearer to the point where I am now, where I can say, okay, these are the things I talk about, and I know this is some of the things you advise people to have a content pillar. For me,
Yeah.
it's productivity, it's leadership, it's growth, right? Those are things I want people to know me for, and just like you said these days it's easy to even get ideas from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that one of your content pillars. It's the future of work, what that will look like.
Yeah.
Maybe if you want to share a bit about that, we know AI is here. There's a lot of buzz around it. Some people are scared, some people are excited, some people are, depending
Yeah.
on the side of the spectrum you sit in. Some people are seeing opportunities, others are already seeing themselves losing their jobs. So for you, what is your thoughts around this? And I know you have a lot, but maybe if you can share what are some statistics, and importantly, what can people do to maximize that future instead of being scared of it?
Yeah. Well, future of work, there are no experts on future of work because future of work is basically now and we are creating it. Um, what what I do is I follow people who actually do the research. I read publications of the World Bank and research studies. I read the reports that are annual for World Economic Forum on the future of work, future of jobs. So the thing is, it's very clear. We have a moment here, just like when in the 90s the internet was discovered, and it was a completely different thing. And it took internet 10 years to get 200 million users. It took ChatGPT 5 weeks to get to 100 million users.
Oh,
So we have another change, which is introducing something we've never had before, and that's AI. So the way I like to call it, I mean, there is no going back. I don't think it's a bubble because everybody's saying, "Oh, is this the dot-com bubble?" I don't see it as a bubble at all. It is progressing quite fast. I mean, look at it. I mean, ChatGPT came in 2020. Now it creates visuals, videos, talks to you. And it's so in depth. I don't need an assistant. I never hired an assistant
yeah.
because I have an assistant, which is AI. And how we have to look at it is this is, first of all, AI is the new colleague. He's our new colleague, and we have to find a way to talk to this colleague so this colleague can help us. Okay, and for some of us, this colleague is not going to be great. For some of us, this colleague is going to be amazing because it's going to take away some of our very, very mundane tasks. And it's here. It's not a future. It is here. So your career is you have a full-time job. According to the OECD forecast, by 2030, 50% of people, professionals, are going to have portfolio careers simply because AI is taking away tasks, is learning better than us, knows much more than us, and is much better in reporting and all the tasks that would take us, hours and days to produce. So if you have a job, which actually 50% of that would be taken by AI, you have to learn something different. You have to learn how to talk to AI so they can do these jobs even better, and how to multiply, how to be even more effective. What can they do to make your remaining job effective? But also, it's very important to there will be jobs in the future to teach AI, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you have to develop and know a lot of things. But also, if you make a new system and get them to help with your work, you have to check what is the output. Is the output what you've decided you want it to be or not? Because it's in our hands. It's not something that is self-developing. It's not like a self-developing organism. We are developing it. So it will
Yep.
go the way we say. And when I say we, it's not every single person develops AI, right? But every single person has a need. So basically, we're saying, okay, I need this and I need that, and AI reads it and creates it for us. So that's why diversifying your income stream and upskilling yourself, so you can take these new jobs like there will be jobs to educate AI. There will be jobs to check output of AI. In the future, probably there will be
Yep.
how to train AI to be more human-like, right? So qualities like empathy, understanding the feelings of others, they will matter. So, so just so you can communicate with the rest of the people who are doing the same like you, but also to communicate that to AI. So it's again your mindset. Do you see this as a threat or as an opportunity? Because if you see it as a threat, it is going to be a threat, and it's going to cause a lot of havoc. It is going to. But the thing is, what you can do is, as I said before, don't sit and wait. Don't sit and wait. Okay, I'm here. Take whatever you can. I can't do anything. No, just do something. Educate yourself. Everything I know about AI, how it works, the future of work, is not because I was sitting and waiting. I reached out, connected with people. They connected with me. We have groups, we discuss, and this is how things work. At minimum, everyone can do the following. So the first thing is start finding out what are these apps, new apps, AI apps, I call them, that you can use in your industry. And there's so many, that thousands, they come every day. So it can be
Yeah.
very overwhelming to think, okay, which one should what should I do? So focus on the things that research them, and focus on the things that will help you in your particular job and in your industry. That's the first. The second one is, but not only learn about them, what they do, test them, subscribe to them, test them, use prompts, see what they can do. Just get literate about talking to AI, okay? The other thing is, if you're in a job, well, find out what are these new initiatives of implementing AI, of automation, and be part of them. Just volunteer, because it's better to be in charge and in this and learning how things will change rather than wait and for somebody to tell you. So that's the second goal. And the third thing somebody can do, that this can be any professional goals for the next 6 to 12 months. And the third thing is create this network of people around you. Sign up for newsletters of people who talk about AI in a really interesting, constructive and productive way, so you can understand more. Join groups, reach out on LinkedIn, find people, create groups, exchange ideas, create such a group in your work. So do something. So these are three simple things everyone can do to feel, at least feel that it's in their hands, that the future is in their hands. And there's so much of free training, so much of free training everywhere. You just, even universities at the moment, the top end Ivy League universities have free classes and free degrees, certificates for AI. I mean, go to OpenAI, go to the academy, go to the Google Academy, which is free of charge. You can learn about prompting, about many, many things. So there's so many options, and at this point of time, we've never before had so access to so much information and so much ways to help ourselves and get ourselves upskilled and educated about what is going on. I mean, that was not there when internet was created, right? That was not there. So
Yeah.
it's uncomparable.
Wow. No, very good. And I like the practicality around what you've said. Hey, learn how to use AI, test, use them to solve problems, learn how to talk to them, and just connect with people. Very easy things to do. Thank you so much. We've come to the end. It's 40 something minutes already, and it just went by so fast. One question I do ask people on the call is, outside of work, for you, you've mentioned you love traveling, you love spending time with your kids. But is there any other way, like typically on a weekend, what do you do to just relax behind, besides the work, the business of life? What do you do to just relax? And then finally, how can people connect with you if they want to learn more about what you do? Maybe we can share that with the audience.
Yeah. Well, first of all, what do I do? We live in Greece because we love the sea, and both me and my husband and now my kids are sailors. So sailing is what
Nice.
I really love. When I'm on the water, it's just that as if the water just washes through me and takes all the concerns and anything that is creating stress in me, this just takes it away, and it's very nice. So that's one thing I do. I do a lot of sports. I walk. I have a dog. I go out with the dog daily, and health is very, very important. I'm very interested. I have so many interests. One of them is finding out what are the new things in health, what the researching finding about health, and how to stay healthy as you age and age well. So you can have really, I'm 55. I have another 30 years. I have to be healthy. How do I make sure I am healthy? I meet people. I get to talk about a lot of topics. Reach out to creators. Get on podcasts, listening to podcasts, watching TED Talks. I mean, many, many things I do in my free time. So how can people find me? The best way to find me
Yes.
is to go on my LinkedIn profile, because anything I have, you can connect to it through the profile. So you can join my newsletter. It is on my profile, and first of all, I post daily on LinkedIn on topics about leadership, career, and change. I have a newsletter where all these insights, a bit more detailed and more tips and insights directly to your inbox through a newsletter. I have a paid community where I teach a portfolio career, how to build your brand. We have master classes with really interesting people. I'm building, I have a podcast. You can listen to my podcast. It's about career change again. What else? I read articles. I go to different conferences, but everything you can find on my LinkedIn profile. It's like my landing page.
Yeah. Wow. Wonderful. And there's so many things you do. And maybe your enthusiasm has actually helped you build this portfolio career because just looking at the number of things you do, the things you're excited by,
Yeah.
I'm sure people will gain a lot just following you and seeing what you do. So thank you so much, Annie. We've come to the end of today's podcast. Truly amazing how you share all these things with us. And yeah, for the audience, please go to her page, follow her, subscribe to the newsletter, and just connect with the work she's doing. Yeah, that's it from us for today. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Wilson. Thank you. It was great talking to you. All the best to you too,
Same
and
here.
to all your listeners and the people that watch.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye.